Welcome back, Gran Turismo fans. Fun in GT7 Nordschleife edition. So I finally got a wet race. I did, I think, 30 races this week, and I only had 3 wet races. Led the entire first lap, midnight slipstreamed me on the straight and then put it in the barrier. That put me back in the lead, and looking at the radar there you can see that it is raining, but it wasn't raining enough for intermediate tyres on lap 1. I was pretty sure that sustained rain and the pattern of blue cloud coming in would mean intermediates would be needed by the end of the race. So I was very surprised when I came out of the pits and found that everyone else seemed to be on hard tyres. I wasn't particularly sure how hard to push the intermediates on a almost dry track, because if you push them too hard they'll burn up and then you'll have no tyres when you really need them when the rain comes. Motor Insider here was actually on intermediates too, and he pushed the tyres a bit harder in these conditions, so duly noted, they're more durable than I realised. As you can see, I went from pole to 7th place, from leading to 7th place by choosing the intermediate tyres, but finally in the last few sectors of the lap the rains finally came. It felt pretty touch and go there for a moment when you've picked intermediate tyres on basically a dry track and everyone else is on hards. You are looking at your weather radar going, come on already, rain will you? Finally it did rain. And I have to give everyone credit here actually. They all did a fantastic job of not getting in my way, not fighting me, trying their best to give me the space to get past. I was trying to catch Motor Insider because at this point I'd realised he was on intermediates as well, but yeah, it wasn't to be done. He played the strategy much better than I did. Had to take avoiding action there, got a little bit sketchy for a moment. My heart was in my mouth drifting across the dirt like that in the wet. I thought, wow, am I about to lose it? But yeah, amazingly retained control. And then someone else goes off track. Again, the hard tyres in these conditions, you're just a passenger. You really have very little control. You've got to drive so slow, so incredibly slow to keep it on the black stuff. Tueka here does a really good job. That's how you need to do it, just tiptoe. And we got ourselves up to P2. So guys, you know how I always say don't overreact? This is why. So the driver in front was slower than me. I went for a move. There's contact. Let's take a look at the move. So as you can see here, I have a 50% overlap in the braking zone. If you're halfway alongside someone in the braking zone, you make the apex and you give someone room. That's the definition of a clean move, and you should be given space. However, I sensed that he wasn't happy with it when he went for that move into Flugplatz. Now, my mistake is I shouldn't have tried to go round the outside of him here. I should have realised that he wasn't happy. But I tried to go round the outside. I got a bump draft. The move was basically done. He realises that and then just tracks me out. Now, guys, this is why this kind of behaviour needs to stop. In the following race, I saw him do this move in my rear view mirror, and I took a look at it after the race, and sure enough, how are you going to revenge punt someone off track for what I did, and then claim that this is a fair move and clean, and that this move's okay when my move isn't? Stop overreacting. Sometimes you just get overtaken. So if you watched my previous video, you know there was a lot of tactical games going on at the lead of these races because no one wants to lead going down the Dottingerhurst straight with the custom slipstream. So NDO pulled over or took the outside line at the carousel in order to give me the lead. We get to the second mini carousel and I do the exact same thing and force him to retake the lead. NDO's a good guy, by the way, good kid. We've had a lot of good races together. But this was backfiring on us, and no one really realised at the time. So NDO made a bit of a mistake, got sideways, and I lifted out the throttle because I don't want to go past him. And none of us realised that this was letting wind catch us. And all of a sudden, I looked in my rearview mirror and saw Wind, who was seconds behind, suddenly right on my tail. And I thought, okay, maybe Wind will work with me. If I position my car correctly, Wind's a smart guy, he will bump draft me, He realised, he saw it, we both had the same thinking, and I thought, yeah, I'm happy to take P2. That's okay. I'm happy to take P2 in this situation. I'm just fortunate enough that we didn't completely ruin our race and get completely swamped. So, tactical fun in games can be good. Like in the last video, you can also majorly backfire with it. Alright, now, real talk for a second. You will never get a better demonstration of why custom slipstream has to go. So, I started P4, there's an incident, Digit and Scotty end up in the gravel. That puts me in P2 behind Max. I'm happy to work with Max, he's a great driver, fast and intelligent, but he makes a mistake. The logical thing to do here is to take the lead. It's the faster thing to do. And again, I know that Max will work with me here. He'll bump draft me and he'll work with me. As it is, finding myself in the lead on lap 1, 2/3 of the way through the lap, it turns out that I actually have a bit of a pace advantage. I'm not too shabby at this track. So the reason I've got the replay in this view is because I want you to see that actually I was stretching them. I was gapping them. It's not a huge gap, but it's a gap. And every time we reach a sequence of corners, I pull out a gap. And then every time we reach a power custom slipstream zone like this, they close up on me again with small bump drafts and the power of the custom slip. So once again, as we head through the final sequence of corners in the last sector, the custom slipstream has allowed them to catch up, and then we get round into heading onto the Dottinger-Hirsch straight, and I actually gap them again in this final turn. So again, P2 there, a little bit too much ambition before adhesion, as Martin Brundle would say, and look at the gap that I've got. So this is a big gap. This is like 1.5 seconds, something like that. But once again, custom slipstream, 1.5 mile long straight, bump drafting. By the time you get to the end of that straight, your lead has been completely wiped out. And this became the theme for the race. So I led the vast majority of this race. And this isn't the first time that I actually gap P2 down. You're going to see it again in a minute that I do the same thing. So they've caught me up. We jump to lap 2 after the pit stop. Keep your eye on P2 and how much he falls back from me here. So one turn and I've gapped him. Another turn and we're gapping him again. But again, we reach a power zone and the custom slipstream pulls him back. So then we reach another sequence of corners again. And once again, keep your eye on P2 and the pack of cars behind him. And once again, you see that I'm actually stretching them. You can see that there's the concertina effect into the corner where he closes up a bit, but then I gap on the exit. What that means is I'm getting better exits. It means I'm more slow in, fast out than the pack of cars behind me. Save for, of course, Mikael Hazal in 5th place. I'm not saying I'm faster than him, but faster than the cars immediately behind me. And here we have, again, I pulled a gap. But a long power zone, and once again bump drafting, and the custom slipstream once again pulls them back towards me. So if not for the custom slipstream, I would have had at least a 2.5-3 second lead by this point. Later on in the lap, they've caught up again through another power zone. There's pretty much nothing I can do about this. I'm just hoping that someone chooses to work with me, because this is not a situation in my control. I'm in the lead and it's the one place where you don't want to be. Mikael Hazal has started at the back and I'm not going to try and prevent him from overtaking me. I recognise he's the faster driver. What I'm hoping is I can fall in behind his slip and work with him. Perfectly happy to concede the lead to him. Rory follows through, okay. Alright, fine. We're in third place. We can work with this. Third is okay. This is fine. We can work with third place. I'm now thinking that as we head down the Dottinghurst Strait for the last time, hopefully I can repass Rory. I'm close enough to him to do it, even if we're not close enough to catch Mikel Hazal. So there's a podium here guaranteed. P2, potentially a win if I work with Rory to catch Mikel on the straight, but Rory puts it in the barrier. And what that does, it means I now no longer have an effective slipstream. I'm not close enough to Mikel Hazal to use his slipstream, and I'm left in no man's land. Had Rory still been in front of me, what you're about to see would not have happened. But without Rory's slipstream, I'm a sitting duck, and there's absolutely nothing I can do to this gaggle of cars that are now catching me. I simply could not have driven a better race. I made no mistakes. I had the pace to win, and I now find myself in P5 when I had the pace to win the race, and at the very least P2. At the very least P2. Okay, P5's not the end of the world, and this isn't anyone's fault what happens here. This is just a racing incident, but it's a racing incident that would not have happened without the custom slipstream. I get a 2-second penalty for it. Polyphony Digital, please, enough is enough. The custom slipstream has to go. After that race, I closed the PlayStation down and I walked away from the game for a couple of hours and went and got something to eat. Guys, this is why you always need to check the race regulations. I see a lot of people on Discord saying, do we have to pit? Do we have to change tyres? That information is in the race regulations in the game. This is why you need to read it and double check what it is you're meant to do. Because this guy qualified on pole and had the pace to win, but he forgot to pit. Feels bad. Feels real bad. This was a fun little finish with Got Max Power. Max is a great racer, great driver. You can always trust him to do the right thing. And when he doesn't, when he makes a mistake, you can always trust him to wait up. Definitely one of the great guys, one of the best guys in Gran Turismo to race with. So we had my slipstream heading down the Dottinghurst. Pulls out, gets the move done. Pretty much resigned myself to 6th place. Nothing you can do here about it. Max timed the overtake well. That's the important thing you need to do here. You need to time it so that the car you're overtaking can't re-overtake you with the slipstream. However, that Porsche was looking like a bit of a handful most of the week for Max. It's definitely not as stable as the Genesis. And he gets a little bit of a tank slapper going on into Tiergarten, and that gives him a bad exit. And the Genesis has more acceleration. And this ends up being the closest finish I've ever had side by side with another car for a position. Shame this wasn't for the win and only for 5th place, because that is definitely the closest photo finish I have ever personally had. Now, you guys thought I was going to forget the plebbery, didn't you? No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will catch you again next time. Get out of here and go race.